Kabanata 29, Pearls. Hindi ko alam kung tinanggap ko ba ang sinabi ni Mama o hindi. I remained inside my room for days, barely eating anything and staring into blank space. Alam kong nandito pa si Mama. Siya ang laging naghahatid ng pagkain ko araw-araw. Hindi ko na rin inabala ang sarili na isarado ang pintuan ko. I know she has the keys and she will enter anyway. Hindi na rin siya nagsasalita bukod pa sa pagsasabing kumain ako. Hindi niya rin naman ako pinipilit kung ayaw ko. I just hear her heels entering my room, her sighs as she watched staring into space before she leaves me alone. Hindi ako naniniwala o ayaw kong maniwala. Gusto kong patunayan na hindi iyon totoo. Pero takot ako sa mga malalaman ko. Paano kung totoo? Anong mangyayari sa akin? A shiver ran down my spine because of those thoughts. If it were true, then does that mean Achilles is my half-brother? And that I shut my eyes tightly, remembering how I am so in love with him, how he was so in love with me, and how we both acted on our love physically. It's impossible, right? Gusto kong malaman ang totoo pero hindi ko alam kung matatanggap ko kung sakaling totoo ang sinabi ni Mama. I recalled how my father was then fond of him, while my mother never was. If it is the truth, then it makes all sense. Naalala ko rin ang mga away ni Mama at Papa noon. Hindi ko alam kung tungkol saan yon, pero kung tama nga ang sinabi ni Mama, kung ganoon dahil iyon doon. Achilles' dream is to pursue the PMA and enter the Navy. It was his idea. And now it makes sense why it was innate for him to want to become a Navy, if he indeed is my father's son. Pumatak ang mga luha ko habang iniisip ang posibilidad na iyon. Hindi nakakatulong na alam kong tinulungan siya ni Papa na pumasok sa PMA. Matulungin si Papa pero ngayong nadipina ang mga tulong niya kay Achilles, pakiramdam ko tinulungan niya ito dahil anak niya nga ito. Pinilig ko ang ulo ko at ibinoon ang mukha sa pagitan ng tuhod. I hugged my knees as I tried hard to block my thoughts about it. I know well that Achilles loves me so much. He wanted to fulfill his dreams for me. Hindi ko lubos maisip na pagtataksilan niya ako noon. At kung totoong mahal niya si Alana, bakit hindi niya maamin kay Alana ang totoong dahilan ng paghihiwalay namin? Bakit kailangan niyang itago yon kung totoo ngang si Alana na ang mahal niya? Alana thinks Achilles doesn't love her. I know that sometimes insecurities can creep in despite the assurance, but if he did love her wholeheartedly, why can't he tell her his reasons? Pinikit ko lalo ang mga mata ko. Hindi ko alam kung paano pa pipigilan ang isipan ngayon. Mula nang nasabi ni Mama ang dahilan na yon, parang lahat na lang ng naiisip ko ay nagtuturo doon. Gustuhin ko mang tanggalin, pero ang hirap. Mahal ako ni Achilles, hindi niya ako pagtataksilan. Pero kung totoo ang sinabi ni Mama, kung ako ba ang unang nakaalam nun, ano ang gagawin ko? Thinking about it snapped something in my head. Migraine hit me like a truck, ni hindi ako makasigaw sa sakit. I even encouraged my head to hurt more. I feel like the physical pain blocked whatever emotion I had after thinking all of those things. Nagpatuloy ang ganoon ng ilang araw, ni hindi ko na binilang kung pang ilang araw nang nagtagal si Mama pagkatapos niyang pumasok para ihatid na naman ang agahan ko. I hope you're eating something. You look unhealthy, madam. Banayad niyang sinabi. Natahimik ang maingay kong isipan dahil sa sinabi niya. Nasanay na ako na wala siyang sinasabi tuwing naghahatid ng pagkain, kaya nasa kanya agad ang buong atensyon ko nang nagsalita siya. Isang linggo nang tubig lang ang laman ng tiyan mo, and you barely even drink. Hindi ako nagsalita. She sighed and slowly went out of my room. I want to know the truth. But what if it is the truth? Will I be able to handle it? Pakiramdam ko, mababaliw na ako. Hindi na kami ni Achilles. May asawa na siya at nagkaanak na. Pakiramdam ko pa rin mababaliw ako kung iyon nga ang totoo. I feel like giving up my life and just stare into a blank space forever until I deteriorate and die. I am disgusted and angry with myself, with everyone around me, with God and fate. I didn't ask and wish to love Achilles and yet I did. Hindi ko naman talaga siya gusto pero minahal ko siya. Anong klaseng laro naman to kung hindi naman pala kami pwede? Ngayon na hindi ko pa napapatunayan ang kahit na ano, mababaliw na ako. Paano kung napatunayan ko to? I imagine myself jumping at something and just ending it. I won't be able to face anything after it. But what if it isn't true? What if they just believe that? Paano ba nila nalaman? Nito lang ba nalaman ni Papa? Paano si Mama? Matagal niya na bang alam? Hindi nila sinabi kay Achilles, di ba? Ano ba ang dahilan ni Achilles? Talaga bang nagtaksil siya sa akin? O ito rin ba ang rason niya? Kung oo, paano niya nalaman ito? May iba bang nakakaalam? I remember how Achilles was so eager to find his father na tinatanong niya ang mama niya pero ayaw nito sabihin. Bakit? Dahil ba may asawa na ang papa niya? Dahil ba may sariling pamilya? Kailan ba nalaman ni Papa? Was it when Leona was on her deathbed? Is that why they kept on fighting those days? Tahimik na pumasok si Mama para sa tanghalian ko. She sighed when she looked at my breakfast untouched. Kinuha niya iyon at nilapag ang tanghaliang pamalit sa naunang pagkain. Kung totoo nga ang sinabi mo, bakit ngayon mo lang sinabi to, Mama? Tanong ko nang di siya tinitingnan. Narinig ko ang paglapag niya ulit ng tray sa lamesa. Binaba niya ata ulit ang kukunin sanang pagkain para sagutin ang biglaan kong tanong. I heard her sigh again and slowly she walked towards my bed. Because I thought I don't have to tell you the truth, that somehow you will follow what I tell you and move on. You're a great woman, Marem. Better men are lining up for you. I then looked at her, eyes widened at how she took this very lightly. Of all people, ikaw dapat ang nakakaalam kung gaano kasakit magmahal ng ganito. It ruined me. It ruined my life. It consumed my thoughts. It ruined me for years. I lived in darkness for years. And you think if I told you about it years ago, it won't ruin you? She cut me off. Bumalik ako, hindi tinatanggap ang sinabi niya. We tried so hard to keep this a secret, hindi lang dahil para sa pamilya natin, para na rin sa'yo. You really think I didn't know your secret rendezvous with Achilles in the Manila Peninsula? My mouth dropped open. You really think nobody knew about your relationship with him? Maria Emilia, wake up! Sigaw ni Mama sa huling sinabi. The Saldivars know. All the people of Costa knows. And you think hindi kakalat yon sa oras na malaman ng lahat na kapatid mo si Achilles? Pumikit ako ng mariin nang narinig iyon. My head suddenly throbbed. My heart pounded, scared that I will be physically and internally harmed by whatever I was feeling right now. You really think your life will be better if you two broke up years ago because of the real truth? Marem, you are lucky Achilles left you for another woman and not because he found out that you are his sister. I shut my eyes again. I wanted to scream and drown out her words. You are lucky to be living, your head held high, untainted by scandalous rumors. Yes, your heart is broken, pero makakaya mo ba na nasaktan ka na nga ng husto, malalaman mo pa at ng lahat ang tunay na dahilan nun? Can you really live like yourself like that? Tears streamed down my eyes again. Pinipilit ko pa rin, hindi ako naniniwala, ayaw ko. I blocked out all the possibilities of that. My head is throbbing. Pakiramdam ko, kung mabaliw na nga ako ngayon, wala na akong pakialam. What was the point anyway? Achilles won't accept me even if I begged him to death. Now my mother is saying something ridiculous. If I pursue the truth and I find out that we're not blood related, will Achilles accept me? And what if we are? Will I be able to accept it? No. I would rather die. I don't believe you, I said, my voice shaking. Leona Riago's last words to your father is how she loves him ever since and until her last breath. Nanginig din ang boses ni Mama. Napabaling ako sa kanya. She was your father's girlfriend before we got married. He was determined to marry her despite your grandmama's disapproval. He took her heart that day, and they both decided to live secretly that night. He waited, but she didn't show up. Kitang-kita ko ang paghihirap niyang sabihin ang lahat ng iyon. She sighed heavily before she continued. After years, she came back with a son. Your father believed that she fell for someone else, but the truth is, she didn't. Achilles Riago is your father's son. Hindi ko alam kung paano ko tatanggapin ang mga sinabi ni Mama. Gusto mo lang kaming maghiwalay dahil bukod sa mahirap lang siya, anak siya ng karibal mo. Mariin kong sinabi. Kitang-kita ko ang sakit sa mukha ni Mama. It felt like I rubbed an old deep wound. I didn't even feel guilty. Sobrang sakit ng nararamdaman ko na gusto ko na ring manakit ng ibang tao, kahit si Mama. You know, I'm never particular of the status. And yes, I still don't like Leona. But I didn't like Achilles for you because I know he is your brother. At bakit hindi alam ni Papa? Because, suminghap si Mama, yumuko bago nag-angat muli ng tingin sa akin. I made your father believe that she fell in love with someone else, just so he'd forget about her. Unti-unting nalukot ang mukha ko sa galit at sakit. Mama's tears fell too. Sunod-sunod naman agad ang hikbi ko dahil alam ko sa sarili ko na nagsasabi siya ng totoo. I always thought my parents married for love. Pero sa nagdaang taon, nakita ko kung gaano kauhaw si Mama sa pagmamahal ni Papa. Inunan niya ito kaysa sa aming mga anak niya. Kaya alam ko na totoo, na magagawa niya iyon dahil sa pagmamahal niya kay Papa. How stupid and selfish that is. I suddenly stopped and remembered Alana's letter. Ganoon din siya, pinilit ang pagmamahal sa lalaking hindi naman siya mahal. And I wonder if forcing myself to Achilles would also mean I am doing the same thing? Leona was a close friend of mine. Kilala ko siya at alam ko na hinding-hindi niya makakayang mawasak ang kahit na sinong pamilya para lang masabi nito ang totoo. She never told your father about Achilles. She kept it a secret. She is her close friend? I can't believe it. This is so fucked up. Who am I to judge? I am that vicious when it comes to love too. I kept it a secret. I want our family intact. Umiling ulit ako. Your father promised me that despite all the things he's doing for Achilles, he'll never tell him the truth. Yumuko ako. Anak niya na naghirap ng ilang taon, hindi kilala ang ama, nangulila, at mag-isang itinaguyod ang buhay niya. Tingin mo, kaya ng papa mong ilihim yon, Marem? Kaya niyang huwag kumprontahin ng anak niya? Nagkulang siya kay Achilles, nangulila siya kay Achilles. Tingin mo, kaya niyang hindi yakapin ito at tawaging anak? I wish I can block her words right now because I definitely know where she is going with it. Hindi ako nagsalita. Pilit ko lang pinikit ang mga mata na para bang hindi ko rin siya maririnig kung gagawin ko iyon. Kaya ng papa mo na ilihim yon, maprotektahan lang ang dignidad mo. Ikaw, Maria Emilia, your father is hiding the real truth about his son for your sake because you will be ruined by this truth. Pumikit ako ng mariin, hindi pa rin matanggap ang mga sinabi ni Mama. There were days when I was sure she's lying and days where I've lost all my hopes and surrender. Dahil wala na rin naman itong patutunguhan. I don't even know if I wanted proof. It's that disgusting. At kung hindi man totoo, may mababago ba? Achilles still fucked Alana. He still betrayed me. He cheated on me. He loved her. And he also said that he doesn't love me anymore. Whatever the results may be, I will still be lost. I will never be home again. I could never turn back the time or right the wrong. May mga araw ding iniisip ko na hindi na ako takot sa kung anumang mangyari sa akin. My life has no value for me anymore. I didn't care what will happen next to me. I even feel like if I died, I'd be thankful about it. Hindi ako ganito. Ilang beses na akong nasaktan pero ngayon lang ako nakaramdam ng ganito katinding panghihina, kawalan ng pag-asa. Siguro dahil kahit gusto kong umasa, unti-unti ko nang nararamdaman na hindi talaga mangyayari ang ipinipilit ko. Whenever I prove it or not, it will not change anything. I couldn't even try to believe it. It will make me lose my mind if I did. Pumasok si Mama sa kwarto ko para sa agahan. Kitang-kita ko ang gulat niya nang natanaw akong nagsasabit na ng hikaw sa tainga. Hindi ako nakatulog ng kahit kaunti. Madaling araw pa lang nag-aayos na ako. Madam, what are you doing? I saw the fear in my mother's eyes. Agad niyang ibinaba ang tray ng pagkain at nilapitan ako para daluhan. I looked at her blankly as I continued with my accessories. I suddenly realized why she looked anxious watching me. It's been almost 2 weeks since she saw me stand. At para makita akong bigla na lang nakaayos ng itim na magarang damit at high-heeled shoes at naka-French twist ang buhok. Are you alright? She asked me like I am going crazy. I'm leaving. Tanging nasabi ko. Where? Natataranta pa rin si Mama. To Manila. And? She waited for my answer. Kumuha ko ng lipstick at nagsimulang maglagay sa labi. Hindi ko sinagot ang huling tanong ni Mama kaya dumugtong siya. I'll come with you then. Hindi pa rin ako sumagot. Natili ang mga mata ko sa salamin. Natili rin si Mama sa tabi. Nakatitig sa akin, parang hindi pa rin ako naintindihan. Look, I know the things that you did in the past years, just to see Achilles. I flinched at the mention of his name. I said I'm leaving, Mama. Nagulat siya sa iritasyon ko. Unti-unti namang tumango kalaunan. I hope you're finally done with this madness. Alam kong mahirap tanggapin at namahal mo siya ng husto. Pero this can't happen. It will destroy you. I'm sad I'm leaving. Ulit ko. Alright, I'm coming with you. Kalmado niyang sinabi bago siya umalis sa kwarto ko. Where do I go from here? I don't know. I always thought that this life is a prelude to the life I wanted. But what if it will never happen anymore? What if it just can't happen no matter what I do? Where do I go from here? What's next to me? I'd very much want to just stay locked up. Bigla kong naisip na mas madaling magalit at isipin na pinagtaksilan ako ni Achilles kaysa sa rasong sinabi ni Mama. I will lose my mind whenever I think about it. Tahimik na pumasok si Mama sa sasakyan. Nakaupo na ako roon, naghihintay sa kanya. Dahil biglaan, wala ang chopper namin kaya mag-aeroplano kami pauwi ng Manila. Natili ang mga mata ko sa harap, hindi pa man umaandar ang sasakyan. Mama then looked at me curiously. I know she'll ask me questions. After going to Manila, where are you going? I don't really know. I just want to live, sabi ko. She sighed. I'm sorry, Marem. Nagsimula na ang sasakyan at tuloy-tuloy na ang biyahe namin sa Katiklan. I didn't feel anything anymore. I just honestly want to get out of here, to leave Costa Leona forever. I came here in Costa Leona after months of knowing that you stayed here, because I heard rumors about you pursuing Achilles. Si Mama habang dire-diretso ang biyahe ng sasakyan. I gritted my teeth and didn't say a word to her. I did not even look at her. I want to let you be, pero hindi ko na yata kaya na kumalat pa ang tungkol sa pag-uwi mo at pagkikita nyo ni Achilles. I remember how I tried hard to cross Achilles' path in the past months. Mula sa pag-uwi ko at pagmamanipula ko sa buong Costa Leona, magkita lang kami at mapaamin ko lang siya ulit. That night with him in their home after Senyor Dimitilla's part was our worst encounter. Itinaboy niya ako at sinabi niyang hindi niya na ako mahal. I suddenly stopped my train of thoughts when I remember my mother's words about Achilles. At hindi ko na halos maisip pa iyon dahil sa hindi maipaliwanag na nararamdaman kung sakaling totoo man iyon. This has been a long-standing secret but I know that I'm not the only one who knows about it. Hindi ko pa rin binalingan si Mama. Rumors might trigger other people. Rumors about you pursuing Achilles in the past months after his wife's death might make other people remember and... Hindi ko alam kung saan siya patungo sa sinasabi niya, at wala na rin naman akong pakialam. I thought the only way to cover it up is if you show them that they are mistaken, that you have moved on, that you're with someone else now, and not in love with. Fine, I'll get married. Ni hindi ako kumurap nang sinabi ko iyon. Sa puntong ito, wala na akong pakialam kung magpakasal man ako o hindi. Kung sino man ang pakasalan ko, wala na akong pakialam. I am so exhausted fighting for the story that I want. I don't want to do it over again, not even for Achilles. Are you sure? My lips were pressed tightly as I nodded. Tahimik si Mama buong biyahe pagkatapos niyang sabihin iyon, ni hindi niya alam kung totoo ba ang sinabi ko. Knowing her, I know she doubts me so much, but this time, it feels like she knew that I was giving up. Alam kong alam niya na sigurado akong sumusuko na ako dahil nang tumigil ang sasakyan namin sa labas ng airport ng Katiklan, binalingan niya ulit ako. Are you sure you will live without talking to Achilles? I snapped my eyes back to her. I can't believe that she asked me that. Parang winasak ang puso ko nang natanto kung gaano siya kasigurado na hindi kami pwede ni Achilles. Sa tanong na iyon, alam ko agad na ganoon ang tingin niya. She would never allow me to see Achilles, not even a bit. She would make excuses just to stop me from seeing him. And to hear her offer right now, that I should talk to Achilles made it all real. Nagtangkang namuo ang mga luha sa aking mga mata. Umiling ako at bumaling sa harap. Ayaw nang isipin pa ang offer niya. That's it. I'm leaving. I'll forget Achilles. Damn him, stupid asshole. Madam, I know I'm selfish for encouraging you to marry someone, but I also hope you'd learn to love that person eventually. I'm sure hindi ka magmamahal ulit hanggang hindi niyo natutuldukan ni Achilles ang anumang nangyari. I sit there immobile and shocked at my mother's very considerate words. Para akong sinampal-sampal ng katotohanan. All the more I don't want to see Achilles, all the more I feel disgusted with it. Because what my mother revealed to me is the truth. Hindi ko alam kung paano ako nakabawi. Hindi na ata ako huminga hanggang sa tuluyan na akong nagdesisyon. If I were to choose between the two feelings that I have, I am choosing to be angry instead. Nag-angat ako ng tingin, pinindot ang speaker bago nagsalita. Bumalik tayo, kakausapin ko si Achilles. Mama also did the same to second what I want. Let's go back and go to Achilles Riago's house. Si Mama. Hindi ko alam paano tutuldukan ito pero isa lang ang nasisiguro ko. Hindi ko tatanggapin ang dahilan ni Mama. I won't acknowledge it. If I did, I'll lose myself. It isn't a problem to me because I didn't want to go on anyway, but I refused to fuel my dark thoughts and stay there. Tahimik akong naglakad na mag-isa pagkababa ng sasakyan. Hindi matanggal sa isipan ko ang matinding pagtitiwala ni Mama sa akin na hinayaan niya akong pumunta doon ng mag-isa, walang bodyguard. Siya pa mismo ang nagsabi. It was proof that she knew I'd stop pursuing Achilles because of that hard truth. Kalalabas lang ni Achilles sa bahay niya nang natanaw ako. Wearing his uniform reminded me of his dreams that he achieved for me. And because of me. He stopped and his gaze immediately turned angry. Tahimik akong lumapit at agad nagunahan ang pintig ng puso. Hindi ko na alam kung paano patitigilin ang epekto niya sa akin. At ayaw ko na nun. If only there's a switch to turn off what I'm feeling, I'd gladly unplug it all. Bakit ka nandito? He's immediately on the edge. Tumigil ako sa paglalakad at natiling seryoso at kalmado. Malayo sa kanya. Somehow, I don't trust myself if I continued walking near him. Aalis na ako. Malamig kong sinabi. Natigilan si Achilles. It was as if he's expecting me to beg again. Before I go, I want to know the real reason why you pushed me away and married Alana years ago. I already told you. Umiling ako. Hindi ako naniniwala. Hindi ko na problema kung hindi ka naniniwala. Naririnig ko ang galit sa tono niya. Tell me the truth, Achilles. I want to know. I said, I already told you. Bakit ayaw mong sabihin sa akin? Did you cheat on me? Hindi siya sumagot. He looked shocked that I even asked that. The whole month I prepared for us, did you fall in love with her? Bakit mo pa gustong malaman? Hindi ba nagkaliwanagan na naman tayo? At this point, I don't know what I want to hear. Maybe, I sighed. What am I doing? Matapang akong nag-aya kay mama na umalis na. Matapang kong hinarap, iniisip na wala na. Na gusto ko lang matapos to, pero ang totoo, nandito na naman ako. Dahil gusto kong marinig sa kanya na itinulak niya lang ako palayo dahil magkapatid kami. Isn't that fucked up? Maybe I am really going crazy. Maybe all those nights I cried, my brain shifted and now I'm suffering from it. Hindi ko alam. Can you even hear yourself, madam? So, you left me because you fell for Alana. Is that it? I can sense how he's trying to answer but he just couldn't move his jaw to do it. You couldn't wait for me and cheated on me with her? Hindi pa rin siya makasagot. Ano? Hindi ka makasagot dahil totoo? O hindi ka makasagot dahil kasinungalingan yon? What difference will it make? Hindi ka makasagot dahil totoo. If I say yes, would you leave my family alone? Matagal ko nang sinabi na durug na ang puso ko. Pero si Achilles talaga may paraan para durugin pa ang napulbo ng puso. Imbis na umiyak, sumilay na lang ang ngiti sa labi ko. I shook my head remembering how he worked hard to achieve his dreams for me. He was ready to give it up for me, yet I encouraged him. I became a selfish bitch for him and yet someone else stripped what I saw. I made him. You don't have to answer. I'm leaving anyway. I guess, last minute, inisip kong magsasabi ka ng totoo sa akin. Nagsasabi ako ng totoo. There he goes again, breaking my non-existing heart. You don't know how much I suffered, and I am still suffering. You broke my heart repeatedly with no remorse. Napakurap-kurap siya. My voice was calm but seething with vengeance. I lived hopelessly in the past years. I didn't understand why you had to leave when I know you love me with all your life. I said, my voice picking up the intensity. Achilles sighed heavily and averted his eyes. Kumunot siya na para bang nasasaktan sa mga sinabi ko. At ngayon, nagmamakaawa ako sa'yo na magsabi ka ng totoo, na tanggapin mo ulit ako. Pero anong ginawa mo? Winasak mo ulit ako. Because you have to understand that we can never be. His voice was intense too. Because you love Alana? Because even if she's dead, you will always love her? Napalitan na ni Alana ang puwang ko sa puso mo? Sabihin mo, Achilles! Hindi na siya nagsalita. He froze from where he's standing. Nagbabadya ulit ang sakit sa ulo ko, ang sakit sa puso ko, at ang pagwawala. Bago ko magawa iyon, tinigilan ko na ang lahat ng naiisip. Sumusuko na ako at mananatili akong ganoon. Hindi na ulit ako lalaban. Pero sisiguraduhin kong alam niya na sinaktan niya ako. Sisiguraduhin kong maalala niya na minsan akong lumabang mag-isa para lang mamatay ng ganito. Oo, pinatay niya ako. Pinatay nila ako. At habang buhay akong patay. Dahil diyan, sisiguraduhin kong alam niya ang ginawa niya. I will strip you of your titles in the Navy. Marahan kong sinabi. I expected him to be shocked or to beg me. But instead, he didn't move. Hindi ko tuloy alam kung narinig niya ba iyon. You achieved that for me. I was your dream. I encouraged you to do it even if it meant loneliness for me. Matagal ko na dapat tong ginawa. Nakinabang patuloy kayo. But it's not too late, so... He still didn't say anything. I will make sure you go back to where you belong, the dirt. The first time I met you, you were very poor. Now that I'm living your life, I'll make sure you turn back to the rat you were before the magic came. I'm surprised that he didn't say anything. Akala ko, pipigilan niya ako, pero hindi. Natili siyang nakatayo roon. I didn't expected it. I know for sure, for him, everything has changed. Whether he still loves me or not, his career meant so much for him. It is his way to help nurture his children. Inisip ko pa ngang magwawala siya dahil sa sinabi ko pero wala. He remained silent, listening quietly. He had no reaction at all. Umatras ako, handa nang umalis. Pero alam ko na sa oras na umalis ako ng Costa Leona, tuluyan ko nang gagawin ang mga naunang desisyon. I didn't want any regret. So you finally met your father, huh? Pilit kong itinago ang sakit sa boses ko. This time, his eyes darted at me and that's when I knew that my mother was right. I flinched at the thought that it's the truth. I couldn't even stand to look at him straight in the eyes. Ako na mismo ang nag-iwas ng tingin. Biglang nadurog ulit ang puso ko. Ang akala ko, kung malaman kong tinulak niya lang ako palayo dahil sa parehong dahilan na sinabi ni Mama, magiging ayos lang iyon sa akin. That it will lessen the pain because he didn't actually mean it, but I was wrong. It only made it worse. I didn't realize how disgusting my thoughts were. Inisip ko lang ang rason niya. Hindi ko inisip na mas malaking bagay pala ang meron na mismong rason na iyon. It was selfish to even console myself with the fact that he pushed me away, not because he fell out of love with me, but because it was wrong. Why am I even thinking about that? It doesn't matter anymore if he pushed me away because he doesn't love me. It doesn't matter if he hurt me. All that matters now is our relationship was wrong to begin with. Nothing is right from the very beginning, so why will any reason change till now? My mind is high-wired and my body trembled at the thoughts that were hitting me like a bullet train. This is wrong. I shouldn't even think about it if it's the truth. I would die first before I love him, knowing that we are blood-related. Akala ko pampalubag loob, pero mas lalo lang akong nabagabag. I am already very disturbed, but right now, my brain is threatening to shut down. My vision blurred and my head spun. Kung iyan nga ang rason kung bakit niya ako iniwan, ayaw ko nang pahabain ang usapan namin. Hindi ko kakayanin. I was ready to go when he suddenly spoke. Now you understand why we can't be together? He said it with trembling voice. I gritted my teeth. I said I don't want to think about this anymore, but his words pushed me to engage. So you intentionally hurt me to push me away? The bitterness dripped like acid. His eyes narrowed. Para bang may hindi ako naintindihan kaya hindi niya rin maintindihan bakit yon ang tanong ko. Never mind, it doesn't matter if you cheated, used someone, or hurt me. It was the only fucking choice. I don't think you'd give it up. He snapped. I said it doesn't matter, Achilles! Sigaw ko pabalik kahit na tumakas pa rin sa boses ko ang pait. I didn't want you to go through the turmoil I've been through thinking about us. So you hurt me instead? My voice was strained like there was an urgency to the question. You will be hurt more if I told you the reason. Gustong-gusto kong ibalik ang mga naiisip ko kanina bago nagpa siyang umalis. Nawala na ngang halaga ang pag-uusap na to dahil sa sitwasyon. It is even disgusting to rethink whatever happened between us, but the fragments of my sorrow were scattered in the winds. It's still around us and I can't pretend that I don't feel it. Bakit? Sige nga! He said coldly. Anong gagawin mo kung ikaw ang unang nakaalam? Kaya mo bang sabihin sa akin? Gusto kong isumbat na kaya ko pero alam kong hindi ako nag-isip. It was too painful for me that I don't even want to think about it. Natawa siya dahil hindi ako nakasagot. Paano kung hahalikan kita pagkakita natin, ha? Paano kung yayakapin kita at aayaan kitang magpakasal? Paano kung gusto kong magkaanak na tayo? Buntisin kita. I shivered. My blood boiled. I don't know where my rage was coming from. I ignored it and went straight ahead. I just didn't want to think about what he said. You chose to hurt me instead of telling me your reason. I tried my best to protect your family. You were already very broken-hearted because of your parents. If your family gets broken and with us apart after knowing the truth, do you really think you can handle all of it all at once? He breathed heavily after saying all those words. Hindi ko na kaya pang lumayo ang usapan namin o siguro hindi ko matanggap na nakaya niyang isipin ang lahat ng iyon. Samantalang ako, hindi ko kaya. Hindi ko kayang isipin na magkapatid kami. Hindi ko kayang isipin kung ano-ano maaari ang maging desisyon ko kung ako ang nasa lugar niya. I feel like I'll be too devastated to choose to go on. Bye, Achilles, I said defeatedly. Ayaw ko nang mag-isip. Thinking about it will paralyze my thoughts and even my body. Ni hindi ko na gustong patunayan dahil alam kong masisiraan lang ako ng bait kung sakaling malaman ko ang totoo. At simula nang umalis ako, sinagad ko nang gawin ang lahat ng bagay na labag sa loob ko dati. It seems like doing what I want always fail me. This time, I'm doing what my parents want. Nakapangalumbaba ako habang nakikinig sa sinasabi ng isa sa marami kong manliligaw. Siya ang tinanggap ngayon sa bahay namin para makipag-date sa akin. I didn't want to go out so I invited boys over instead. Where do you want to live in the future? I smiled fakely. Here's fine. Really? Any city in particular? I've been buying properties the past months. Maybe I can find a nice spots for a house in a city you like. Lagi akong natitigilan sa mga dates. I feel like all my suitors like me too much. Samantalang kulang na lang humikab ako sa boredom sa harap nila. They like me, they love me, they want to settle down immediately, while I don't love any one of them. And I don't think I could ever get myself to love them eventually. I have lost all the ability to appreciate a man romantically. The disgust, pain, and sorrow of my experiences made me so detached to anyone. Hindi ko naman talaga gusto tong ginagawa ko pero gagawin ko. But I wonder if I am being fair to this man. If I chose someone who loves me so much and I know I can't love them back, then I am just creating another casualty in my own battle. Nikolai would be a perfect match for me. I whispered and shook my head. May asawa na yung tao. I ended the date afterwards. Naglakad ako pabalik sa bahay dahil sa hard din nangyari ang date na iyon. Unti-unti kong tiningnan ang cellphone ko at hinanap ang numero ng isang lalaking sigurado akong hindi ako mahal. Hello? Dansha? Yes. Can you visit me in our house tomorrow? Sure. Is there a problem? Tanong niya. I paused and thought about it. You're in search for a wife, right? He paused for a minute. Yes, why? I'm also in search for a husband. Hindi ko na inisip pa ang ginagawa. It made my life easier. I didn't have to love so much or feel the pain too much. I don't have to ask for reasons nor prove any reason. I am so exhausted in thinking about it. Parang ako na lang ang lumalaban at sa huli, talo palagi. Kaya bakit pa ako magsisikap? Matatalo lang din naman ako. We spent the whole day in a quiet company. Hindi siya gaano nagsalita. Ganoon din ako. Kumain lang kami ng tahimik. Minsan, nakakalimutan kong nariyan siya. At pakiramdam ko, ganoon din siya sa akin. Do you want to marry me? Yes. Sagot ko pagkatapos naming kumain. He nodded and made some calls. I went to my mother to finally tell her about my decision. Alam kong ito ang gusto niya pero hindi ko nakita sa kanya ang tuwa. Kakausapin ko si Papa. Sambit ko dahil nagkataong naroon si Papa sa bahay namin nun. She nodded and accompanied me until the study's door. Hindi man lang nagsabi si Mama na sasama siya sa loob. It was as if finally she trusted me this time. I'm getting married. Balita ko kay Papa habang abala siya sa pagbabasa ng isang dokumento. Nagangat siya ng tingin sa akin bago nagtanggal ng eyeglasses. Kumunot ang noo niya at mukhang may pagdududa pa. Kanino? Gudansya Sevilla, sagot ko. Tumango siya at saglit na nag-isip bago tuluyang naglakad palapit sa akin. That's good, Maria Emilia, he said in an affectionate way. He then hugged me tight but I didn't return it. I stood there feeling his warm bare hug while I felt nothing. In one condition from you, malamig kong sinabi. He chuckled as if he can make the situation lighter but it was very humorless for me. Malamig ko lang siyang tiningnan nang kinalas niya ang yakap sa akin. Sure, anything, Iha. Are you sure of that? I want the kilas out of the Navy. Napakurap-kurap si Papa. Tuluyan niya rin kinalas ang hawak niya sa balikat ko. Kumunot ang noo niya at parang lito sa naririnig. Alam kong alam nyo na hindi ako nagpapakasal dahil may mahal na akong iba. You don't have to pretend to be happy because I know you know why I'm doing this. Pero Madam, Mama told me the reason why you don't want me to be with Achilles. Bumuntong hininga si Papa at yumuko. I gritted my teeth. Each time I remember the reason, I feel like dying. Maybe the chandelier above will fall and get me. Or a sudden huge earthquake will hit our home and I'll be one of the victims. Anything. It was a kind of pain that makes me want to physically harm myself so I could forget. Ayoko nang isipin pa iyon ng paulit-ulit kaya sana sundin na agad ni Papa ang gusto ko. Strip him of his titles. Fire him on the organization. I know you can do it, Admiral Galvez. I can rank him down if he made it because of me. Now that I'm out of his life, he doesn't deserve the achievements he made in my name. Kitang-kita ko ang sakit sa mga mata niya. Ramdam ko na ayaw niya nga itong gawin. Ayaw ko nang mamilit. Umalis na ako at hinayaan siyang magdesisyon sa sarili niya. Hindi ko na pinatagal ang kasal namin ni Dancio. He agreed and his family was more than happy to accept me. Nakaharap ako sa salamin habang kausap si Nikolai. Because his wife didn't like me, of course, he can't come to my wedding. Natulala ako habang iniisip ang kung ano. Since you're getting married finally, can I say something? What? Nagtagal ang titig ko sa salamin habang iniisip ang sitwasyon namin ni Dancio. Sigurado ba talaga to? I noticed you like pearls so much. You're wearing one right now, on your neck. I gritted my teeth. Alam ko na agad kung sino na naman ang naiisip niya. How nice of you to talk about him in my wedding day. I'm not talking about him, madam. Ang sinasabi ko lang ay may kasabihan na hindi maganda ang pearls as any wedding-related material, like rings or necklaces. Rings? You might want to take it off. Why? Nakuha na ni Nikolai ang buong atensyon ko. He sighed. They say it symbolizes tears and sorrow, so it's not good as an engagement ring or any jewelry. Reason why even when I notice you like them, I don't give you anything pearl-related. Nagtaas ako ng kilay. May iluluha pa ba ako? Natawa ako sa sariling tanong. He sighed and went silent on the other end. At habang tahimik siya, naisip ko bigla si Dancio. I'll put this down, Nikolai. May gagawin lang ako. Sabi ko at binaba ang cellphone. Nakaayos na ako at naghihintay na lang ng ilang minuto para tawagin sa kasal. Umalis ako ng kwarto ko para puntahan si Dancio sa kwarto niya. He was alone too when I knocked and went inside his room. He looked dashing in his suit and he welcomed me inside. Ngumiti ako sa kanya. He smiled back at me. Nang nagkaharap na kami, saka lang ako nagsalita. Before we proceed, I want to ask you something. I am not going to be another Rodolfo Galvez or Achilles Riego. Nobody deserves to be Alana, whether she wanted it from the very beginning or not. What is it? He asked calmly. Gusto kong malaman na kung hindi pa kakasalan ng babaeng mahal mo ang lalaking mahal niya, at malaman mong ikaw pala ang mahal niya, hihiwalayan mo ba ako para lang makapiling siya? His eyes remained on me for a while. Dumaan ang sakit sa mga mata niya bago siya nag-iwas ng tingin sa akin. Tell me the truth, I said. He licked his lips and his eyes went back to me. I'm sure you know my answer to that. We have both the same answer to that question. Aniya. I nodded and still waited for him to tell me. Oo, he said calmly. Tumango ako at ngumiti. Thank you for telling the truth. He smiled at me with sad eyes. I don't want to marry someone who loves and adores me so much. I will only hurt him. Precisely why Dancio is my perfect match. We will never be in love with each other. Our hearts belong to someone else.